Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another designer deck profile and discovering Rorowa, a new right line we get for Stoicheia. So he is probably the cheapest right line that you can get right now. Because I've been seeing like the JP prices and this card is basically keep dropping. To find a playset of him is so easy, and in this deck you don't need a lot of old cards. Some of them, yes, but like 60 to 70% you can get it with the new cards. So you should be able to build this deck quite easily, and it's actually quite fun because I've playtesting a few games, and so far he's doing me good. So I think it's a good profile to actually show you, and of course I am focusing on Stoicheia, so there's no reason that I should skip him. Let's talk about the right line we are using first. Is the whole Rorowa right line. So the zero do nothing except you go second, you draw. When you write the one on top of it, you get to call a planet token to the center back row. You write the grade 2 on top of grade 1. You get to retire unit to call 2 planet tokens, and going to grade 3 you start doing your work, which he has 2 skill. First skill is a active skill once returns, so +1 to call up to 3 planet tokens, and the second Vanguard skill is when this unit is being attacked, you can retire one or more any number of token units you have won, and for each unit you retire as a cost for this card skill, you during the battle get 5k power. So not only offensive, you can also be defensive. So even if you don't have anything to play, get 3 pen tokens out, you can still turn them into a 15k shield. So it's a very interesting concept. Not like in the past we call pen tokens and then they give effects to your Vanguard or something, or they help you in another way, or purely just rush. But now you don't only rush, you also can get defensive with your tokens, which is really helpful when you like are short in hand, or sometimes just lacking an extra 5k shield, 10k shield, and you can just eat the tokens and build that. So that's really good. So going to the main deck, 3 more Rorowa, because we do Soul Blast a lot, and Personal Ride just makes our front row a lot stronger, including Rorowa himself, and I think that's about it for using 3 more copies. And then 4 of the Inner Pulse, because we will be doing 4 attacks per turn, so Inner Pulse can simply just even be called to the center back row at the end of the turn, go into Soul and draw 1. Or you can just use him as a normal attacker, make sure you have 4 attacks, and go into Soul and draw 1. So not only you get to draw 1, you get the attack from him, you also fill in the Soul for your next Rorowa turn, when you need to Soul Blast to call 3 more planet tokens or any kind of Soul Blast you need, instead of just having an empty Soul. But you won't be doing like withstands and such with this card, and not great form like earlier that you can make him attack from the back row. So far, this is not happening in this deck. And then 2 of the Prison Dragon is something that I actually did not think of when like at my building phase of the deck, but when I start doing a little bit of research, I actually find this card very interesting in this deck, because he allows you to do early rush by all means, and it's just a good backup right there, because we do eat our units sometimes, not only tokens, sometimes we eat our units as well. So having him there, being able to recycle, and it's just a good fodder to ditch for your right deck is just great. Also the early rush that you can like 70 plus 10k, 70 plus a crit, even though the total power might not be as high as when you're using Soldier, still a threat, because when it is a 2 crit attack, your opponent still need to guard for it, and you are not attacking 3 times, you're attacking 4 times a turn. So yeah, the threat is there, just a different meaning. But since we are not doing LK magic, so we can only choose 10k or crit. That's something that you need to be aware of. Next, we have our Greeter Girl of Flame Blossoms, Rathalina. So she is the partner of Rorowa and is the key engine of the deck. So her skill is to, if you don't have a Momoke token, you can counterblast one to call a Momoke token onto the field, which is this card. So the Momoke token have two skills. One of them is a active skill. Rigard Circle. Once per turn, you can choose to retire one or more a number of regards on your field, and for each regards that you actually retire with this cost, you get 5k each. So like if you call plan tokens with him and you eat all 3 of the tokens, he will become a 20k because he have a 5k base power, so plus 15k is 20. And then another skill is if you have a Rorowa Vanguard and in the same column you have your Rathalina, then this card can attack from the back row. So you just need to pump him a little bit so that he can hit something, and then he can be useful as one of the cards to generate the 4th attack, or like a total of 4 attacks. Then back to Rathalina. Her second skill is if you have Rorowa Vanguard, when this unit attacks as a Vanguard, if you Soul Blast 1, then you can choose one of your token unit that is in the same column of this card. During the battle, this unit will gain the power of that card. So like if your Momoke token eat 3 units, becomes a total of 20k. When this attacks, you Soul Blast 1, you get that 20k on top to become a 30k. So you not only attack for multiple times, for 4 times, you're also hitting them a little bit harder, which is really helpful, because when Momoke attack, if your opponents get defensive, you can at least pump her power to still hit, so your opponents still need to give you something back, unless they keep taking a hit, but they cannot do that forever. At a point, they need to give you something to guard. And also, we have the Prison Dragon, we have our Inner Pulse to keep applying the pressure. That's why they need to always find a way to give you back resources. Just maybe a matter of time, but this is a very good engine, and I really like the idea of having more than 3 attacks in this deck, even though we need to work a little bit harder in here, but we do have a lot of cards to help support that. Not only the Great Rorowa, and also the Padoparan Raffleros. So her skill is so simple. When she appears on Rigard Circle, counterblast 1, call up to 2 planar beats. So helping you to generate more cards on the board. We don't actually use a lot of counterblast, because if we don't eat our Momoke with our grade 3 Rorowa, or your Momoke get like prison, get retired, then you need to counterblast and call again. You basically don't use a lot of counterblast, so you do have a lot of spare. So I'm using this Block Girl to help me generate more tokens to eat, even for Momoke to just get to a total of 15k, because plus 10 by eating 2 tokens is still massive. And herself calling at least 1 token behind her to become a 14k column, at least you get to hit something. So trying to get more value with the tokens, and trying to always maintain a good board or full board, so that every attack matters, I think is still quite important in this deck. Next, a card that helps you to do some cleaning on your board, which is Sticky String Mutant Acutia Sticky. So her skill is also simple. Rigard skill, once per turn, counterblast 1, retire 2 of your other regards, draw 1, and this unit get plus 5k for the turn. Now, a good target will be the Prison Dragon. Another good target will be the plant tokens you call from Rorowa, the plant tokens you call from her, or when you think her job is done, you can also retire her as one of the two to draw your second card, and this card becomes a 30k booster. Once she's a 30k booster, even a plat token is still a 18k line. This can just be a 23k with crit, or 33k with 1 crit. So that's a lot of adjustment. 28k exact, 28k, not 33, 28 because it's 15 plus 30. So it's 28k column with 1 crit, or 18k with 2 crit. So still good, still can apply the pressure depending on what you need. And the most important idea is you actually can recycle this card, so he doesn't stay on the field forever and you need to call on top or something. You can turn him into value, so that's why I like this card. And even if you just so plus 1 call 3 planet tokens, call her, E2 draw 1 plus 5, you get a planet token with her as a 18k column, your planet card is still 13k, and then you might draw into this and build yourself another column to do 4 attacks. Sometimes the extra draw is just something that you need. And then 4 PGs. Because PGs are PGs, nothing much to me to say. And then we actually running some order cards before we talk about triggers. One is Wells Melt in the Sound of Rain. So this is a order that you make your opponents choose to retire one of their regards, and then you call one from your drop zone with the same grade. Now we do have all kind of grades. If they retire grade 2, you can get her back. If they retire grade 3, you can get Inner Pulse, and then also bring back your Prison Dragon. If they do grade 1, then you can use your Sticky Mutant. So that's basically every single grade that they retire can still help you, even if they retire grade 0, that doesn't hurt. Because you can also turn those grade 0 into some other values with your mutant. And whenever you activate a order, you can bring back your Prison Dragon. So and you get one of the board wipe, like not completely cleaning the board, but you get to retire one of the unit and you make them to choose. So I think that is great. And then 2 of the tier methods, which is kind of the same as the Sticky Mutants, but you can only use it once. By once I mean because the order you play is just gone, that's all. But Sticky Mutant you can do it every single turn. But sometimes we just don't have this card and we are lacking a counterblast, we are lacking a soul or something. This card will also help you to recover from there. That's why it's great, and that is also one reason I'm using the Flower Girl, because there's so many ways I can turn planet tokens or even herself into something into more value. So that's why. 2 of the spiritual body condensation, so that we can bring back our Inner Powers, because you do Soul Blast a lot, or even her, depending on what you need in her. So yeah, just simple. And also these orders will also activate our Prison Dragon, so that's just great. And then lastly, one of the In Search of an Ideal Far Away. This is just a good support card for Rush, and worst of the worst, you can still apply to your Momoke, and then you can attack with your Rearguard line, your Vanguard line, and then at least plus 10k, right? And then attack with your Momoke, and then attack with this. This will still activate to turn to give her, your Momoke another 5k to at least pump to 20, and then you can copy the power. So just so many ways you can utilize this card, and you can do the early Saga play to just play grade 1, grade 0, use this, bring your Prison Dragon, and then play another unit, attack for 3 times, get the 15k plus, and making your Prison Dragon with crit to be a lot scarier. Or even when you're at grade 2, you can already activate your Rathalina skill, so you can still attack for 4 times, right? So that is a guarantee 20k buff to turn your Momoke into a 25k when passing power to Rathalina, even though you can only count the first 2 attack for Momoke in order to do that. Yeah, but usually if you are doing the Prison Dragon combo, you will put it onto other grade 1s or grade 0s so that your Momoke attacks, she attacks, your Vanguard attacks, and your Prison Dragon attacks will carry the 20k power as a boost for your Prison Dragon, that making it a lot scarier. So before looking at the triggers, you can see this deck. Of course, they have their own like key cards, but at the same time, it's kind of like mixing Solgar and a little bit idea of Magnolia into this deck. That is the theme. So while having some orders to support that activate the Prison Dragon, and also you can turn values with Inner Pulse, that's already great. And there are like a moment that I use this card, then my opponent pop a grade 3, then I put a Inner Pulse to the center back row so that I can draw, and then pick out the Prison Dragon for the crit pressure, and then I have this and this, then my board is basically ready as well. And because I have Inner Pulse, then I get to draw and Soul Charge, which I ready for the next turn. I can still do some big moves and making the deck less easier to dry out. Okay, now go through the triggers. First, Stoicheia Open Trigger, to me, is just better because there are times that I don't attack with Vanguard first. So the 100 million might not save me, might not, but this suddenly getting a crit, suddenly get to heal can actually help. So I still prefer this a little bit more. So in crit, just in case we lack of souls, 3 more crits, and then 4 of the 10k draws, because I think draw is quite important in this deck, and it doesn't hurt if you get this card in your hand. It's still a 10k shield, or you can just call it out to retire for more value. And then for heals, I'm using 2 of each, 2 of the new ones, 2 of the old ones. It's more of a like a testing and a backup plan that if I face units that can withstand, I use this and they become half full, but usually I'll use the 15k shield. But there are also chances that I only need 10k shield and I can just briefly drop this down without too much pressure. We do lack of 2 5k values with this, but so far it's still fine because of the draw power of the surge, because of the pressure that I apply. So far still doing me good. Yeah. So that's basically the deck list, and I think I can basically show you some ideal kind of setup that you can have with this deck. Now, let's don't count how many souls we have. What we need is like this, and then of course the partner, Rathalina, and this. That's basically what you want. And what stays here can be Inner Pulse, can be Prison Dragon, can even be her, or just any other units that you have, even a plant token. So this space is free. This space is up to you. If you do have like another one for this, is also great. If you don't, that's fine, because sometimes, like what I said, if you need to use an order to bring back a Prison Dragon and your opponents choose to like when you use this order, they choose to retire grade 3, then you place it in the pulse, call a Prison Dragon, and then just prepare to put this card in the soul and draw one after all the attacks are done. Yeah. or if you use spiritual body condensation and you prefer power, then you can do that. But before that, you can like this, you can just use one skill, pop 2, and do your stuff. So no hurt at all. And another thing to note is his protective skill does not only retire plant tokens, you also retire your Momoke. And what you need is just kind of last one to call this back. So say if you really need to protect yourself, pop it, then next turn, so last one, call 3 plant tokens, use his skill, eat 2, draw 1 plus 5, kind of last 1, bring it back, then you still have a plant token right here if you don't want to play extra units. So it's just quite easy, and then the next time you get attacked, you can just like retire 2 and then just leave her right there so that you can kind of last one and call that back. And before that, you can actually call 3 plant tokens again, use the skill, pop 2, draw plus 5, kind of last 1, call this back, and the field is basically not changed. So as long as you have these 2 and they stays on the field, or you have another backup in hand in case you get retired or get attacked, the next time you play another one, and then you just keep this line, keep this, and just utilize this space, then you're all good. That's how I feel usually. And even like while you are setting up, what you can do is like this, and then this, call 2, pop, call by this skill. That's the works. So it's actually quite easy to fill up your whole board, and what you need to care about is only 2 units, because one is a token unit, one is free space, 2 is free space. So yeah. Of course, if you have any questions with these decks, always feel free to comment down below, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And also make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, to this video, so that you can see more deck profiles from me. And I am trying to find more chances to record 5 videos even remotely, because so far I still can't go to shops and play. That's why I can't actually get like exactly face-to-face footage to show you guys. So it will still be remote, but at least we get something going, and hopefully I can show you guys how this deck works by the actual gameplay. Then you can understand the deck more, and if you have more questions, again, feel free to ask, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.